Have you seen the latest trend where they do a whitewash type finish on furniture? So I thought I'd show you really quick how I achieve this Pottery Barn dupe on this vintage sideboard credenza. I have two different shades of a light color, a tan and an off-white. The colors that I'm using are Dixie Belle paints in burlap and drop cloth. What I've done is I've taken one of my really great fluffy brushes. It's an 040 from Klingon. And I am just putting dabs of paint, you guys. I am hardly putting any paint on my brush. I'm not joking when I said I used probably a tablespoon of each color to paint this entire thing. This is almost like a dry brushing effect that I'm doing. Since my brush is so nice and fat and plump, I just put a tiny dot of paint on my brush and then I kind of wipe it off. It's almost like a dry brush. So what I'm doing is just combining the tan, which is the burlap, and the drop cloth, which is the off-white, together on my brush simultaneously. So that way it's not a flat color. And basically just kind of swirling around the color onto this piece. I'm not trying to saturate it. I'm not trying to cover it. I'm just trying to put a little bit of paint to create that weathered, washed look. I'm coming back with my sprayer, fine mist sprayer with water in it. Nothing else but water. And that is helping me move the paint around. Since I'm using such a little amount of paint, it dries really fast. So, and it's winter right now, but it still will dry fast. I am just using my brush and just then kind of swirling out the paint a little bit better. I don't want there to be huge brush strokes or swirly marks. I just kind of softly want to add this color without having total coverage. This is like applying a translucent wash over the wood. I did not water down the paint. I'm watering down the surface. Does that make sense? Watery paint will drip. I don't want this to drip. I want this to be like a dry brush effect that's going to just softly go over the top. That's why I'm spraying a little bit of water here and there, and what it does is allows it to be moved around quite nicely, actually. So I am going to then grab a rag that I have misted. It's not soaking wet. I just misted it with my spray bottle as I went, and I am now wiping off the paint that I just put on sporadically and in spots so that the wood is going to show through. So this is how we're going to give that muddled look, just a little bit of color over this gorgeous wood. The wood is still going to shine through. I am just taking a rag, that's a shop towel rag, and just wiping down and wiping back, kind of wet distressing this piece. Since the paint is so thin, it's very easy to wipe off. I am going to do that until I kind of get the cool look that I want to achieve. I want it to be not uniform. I want it to be weathered and look like it's just been sitting there and it's just patina in naturally with kind of a worn look. We're going to continue the same look on the piece all the way down. We are talking dots of paint, you guys. I actually had to dump the paint out because I didn't even use half of it. I am barely using any paint. I mean, barely. Dots, tiny dots. Sometimes I'll spray my brush with a little bit of water because it gets a little dry. The thing is that this is a vintage piece of furniture. Vintage furniture is very thirsty. This girl's probably 100 years old. She's thirsty, right? Thirsty thing. She wants a drink. So I am just putting a little bit of paint and then she soaks it up. So then I'll either spray the piece or spray my brush to get it to move around. Dots. Tiny. Can't even see the paint. Like a dry brush. A dry brush means not a lot of paint. and then using the water on the brush, using the water on the piece to help move it around. It's a color wash that I'm doing, a Pottery Barn dupe. Now, I went on to the Pottery Barn website to see if I could find something that was similar. They have a lot of pieces with this whitewash, I guess it's not whitewash, but weather washed, rustic looking paint, and they're very expensive. This is actually a vintage piece of furniture, solid wood, not pressed cardboard. It's going to last for 1,000,000 years, and it is going to be stunning. So take your time. You can do this with any kind of project. Just pick a few colors, and it doesn't have to be white. It could be gray, it could be black. I've seen this done with all kinds of colors. The thing is that the wood on this piece is just beautiful anyhow, so we don't want to cover it all. We want to let it kind of shine through and give us that kind of just unreal, billowy softness look, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Take our rag. We're going to wet the rag with our cloth. So I never got the rag wet. I didn't want it to be too wet. I wanted to just go in and just take a little paint off. Now I'm removing the paint right after I finish painting. I'm not waiting like a day because it would be too hard then. I'd have to sand it off. And I'm not really looking to sand and do that kind of look. I want it to just look like it was washed on. So I've done the whole thing. I've got it how I want it, and I'm going to seal it. Here I am just using a furniture wax. It's actually Wise Owl's wax to seal my piece. And then I'm going to add some dark accents, because dark accents will then highlight everything. I will do it on the front. I will do it on the sides. And this is with a dark brown wax. You can see it just adds a little bit of character in those corners. Makes your piece pop. You know, this was such a fun project to do. It was easy. It was fun. And look at it, just is a muddled thing. Now I went down the front and did it all the way across. I did want to sand the top though and make it look really good. So look at the before and the after. The after is on the right, the before is on the left. I just take my sander. I have an amazing sander. I'm using a Festool orbital sander with 100 grit sandpaper. Sand it down, then I stain the top and seal it, and we have this amazingly gorgeous piece of furniture that really, I should probably get a Pottery Barn catalog picture and put it next to it, you know, and show you how you guys can do this. This did not take me very long. Did not take a lot of supplies. So don't be afraid to try to do the look that you see in the magazines. Why not do it yourself? She turned out stunning. I don't have fully staged pictures out. I did want to get this video up for you so you could see it. So please subscribe, like, let me know if you have questions. I'm always here to help. My name is Debbie Tona. As I always say, go out and be fabulous. If you need any paint or supplies, tonatransformations.com. Thanks for watching.